Hey, hey, hey! It's Josie, founder of this group, Women Who Lead with Heart, and I'm coming on live for my Sunday night training. Who's with me? Who's here? If you're joining live, come on in and give me a hello. If you're joining on replay, give me a hashtag replay. It's always great to know who's tracking. This is filmed in the summertime and it's super hot outside. I just came in from the river. So I'm feeling fresh and enjoying just being out in nature, and I'm so happy to be sharing this time with you. Today's topic is how to have solid self-belief. And I've recently done a whole group workshop on how we can create more confidence. And so many women inside shared a similar experience of feeling like they have something like imposter syndrome, like they're not good enough, they don't belong where they are, that they're fatally flawed, that everyone's going to see their shortcomings and their weaknesses and their mistakes. And that kind of belief system is something that can be quite insidious. It can kind of like network inside, worm inside your brain, and really be tormenting for a whole lifetime. If you allow the negative thought loops that we've developed from early in our lives, when we've developed our self-concept, if you let them go unchecked, you can end up really hampering your capacity for all the good things, for joy, for positive risk, for the possibilities that are abundant around us, as long as we're not afraid to take a chance. I'm seeing so much glare coming in from behind me, so I might resort myself just a little bit. So, is this you? Do you suffer from something like the imposter syndrome, feeling like you're lacking, you're not good enough, your worthiness is flawed, that other people have something that you don't, that you're not belonging, that you're lesser than, that you're not worthy? These are really tormenting thoughts to hold. And it's related to something also known as the spotlight effect, this idea that we believe that there's a spotlight on us and that others notice us so much more than they actually do. We're kind of in our own drama. And we're really hard on ourselves. We see our mistakes, we see our flaws, and they make us cringe, and they make us want to stay small and not risk. Can you relate to this? This is where our learned timidity comes from, where learned timidness comes from this developed fear of pain. And I talk about this a lot. Like when you're little, you don't really have any boundaries and you haven't learned yet the risks of things like a hot stove or running down the stairs can cause physical pain. We learn through trial and error. We explore our boundaries without fear at the start until we develop that fear of what can happen if we push a boundary too far, if we risk too much, and how we can end up feeling pain. And this is how our brain develops, right? We seek pleasure and we avoid pain. But what happens that's so distorted is we start to realize that there can be more than just the hot stove pain or the running down the stairs and trip and fall pain. There can be something else that is far more fear-inducing and long-lasting, and that's emotional pain. The first time we feel rejection or humiliation or ignored are some of the first times that we realize, oh, there's other pain that we could be worried about, that we can be fearful about as well, and shame starts. This is a normal human experience, but it's something that we almost hold like a secret. Our early hurts, our early traumas, our early emotional pain is something that forms our self-concept and actually becomes kind of like the piece of sand in an oyster around which we grow the pearl. We're sort of protecting an inner hurt, an inner wound. So the we understand where it comes from. These negative self-beliefs come from us feeling fearful that we might repeat things that have hurt us in the past, things that have caused us shame and pain. And we start to do what I like to call turtle shelling. We create ourselves an external like shield of safety, and we retract and recoil and hide within it. We start doing things like compare and despair, where we are only seeing the successes of others and the failures or shortcomings of ourselves, or perceived shortcomings, and judge ourselves as lesser, smaller, not worthy, worthy of judgment only. We can start to see others' positives and our negatives. Or we look at someone else on the path and we see them partway through when we're just beginning. And we feel like that's another sense of evidence, another piece of evidence of how we're not good enough or arrived enough, or our beliefs become that we're lesser. So the whole issue with this is we can create that sense of safety by turtle shelling in, by not risking emotional pain, by staying small and safe. But then we end up selling ourselves so short and only leading a good enough life. It's good enough. You know, there are positives. It's okay. You know, it could be worse. And this is really potentially the the sadness of our human condition, is that we might be fearful to go reach out for the potential that could be there for us if we had stronger self-belief, if we were capable of risking more and knowing that we were safe in doing so, knowing that it's not like something that's really going to kill us. This is why I used that saying, that meme, as I advertised this talk in our group about the bird on a tree, that she's not afraid of the branch breaking because she doesn't think that way. Her trust isn't on the branch. Her trust is in her wings and her knowledge that she can fly. And I love this idea because it's this perspective shift that we don't that if we're not worried about what could go wrong and what's holding us externally, but instead seeing our capability to react and respond no matter what, when instead of trusting on the branch to keep us safe rather than trusting on our wings, we see there's this opportunity for us to more powerfully choose a perspective that's going to enable us to expand into our full capacity, to be able to risk more, to risk positively, to lead a full life. That's why we want solid self-belief. We want to be able to believe in our wings. We want to believe in our ability to fly. So we understand where self-doubt comes from, but to continue to feed the behaviors that come from doubt, that come from wanting to be fearful of pain, emotional pain, is the thought error underneath the choice that we can make. The choice being, instead of focusing on the branch and messing up, risking being seen, going big and failing, trying for something and feeling humiliated, risking the judgment of others and ourselves if we come up short. That's the branch type focus, as opposed to seeing that we do have wings. We all can see ourselves so much more objectively and so much more positively if we really objectively saw ourselves like we can do hard things. We have endured hard things in our lives. We are resilient. We've known loss. We've known pain. We've had suffering. We've had longing. We can see evidence that we can survive those things because we're here. We can see when in the past were we capable? When did we succeed? When did we take a risk and it worked out? When did we lean on our strengths? When we see those things, we're focusing our belief on our wings and not looking for the safety of the branch. Are you following? We're looking for the evidence that we can fly, not looking for where we can be safe by standing on a branch. When we're focused on those beliefs, like I've got this, when we're telling ourselves, I'm okay, I've been okay, I've known failure and I'm still here, I can figure it out, I will always be okay with me, I always have me, I love being me, I love getting to choose, I love my life. I don't want a magic wand. I don't want to fix everything. I want to know how to lead my life on my own terms and find my own way, and that's more fulfilling. When we have those thoughts that are born of the belief that I have wings, that I can self-rescue, then our feeling becomes more expansive and more inspired and more what if and more why not and more focused on the capability and the possibility and even the probability of things working out, as opposed to seeing everything as potentially negative and full of potential failure. So it's almost like there's a crossroads between which belief are you going to choose. Are you going to choose to believe that things are possible for you, that you do have capability, that you do have successes, that you do have potential, that you do have figure out ability, that you do have resources, that you are resourceful, that you have always been learning, that even past failure could be rebranded as simply a learning moment? When you're focused this way, your thoughts are not going to be full of fear. They're going to be full of more encouragement, more excitement, more possibility, more what if. And when we're thinking and feeling in that zone, our actions become more empowered. They're full of positive risk. And what happens when we take positive risk, when we're willing to give it a go, when we're willing to try and know that if we come up short, we'll just try again, or we'll evaluate and redeploy next time? What happens is the result is we're stepping forward, we're evolving, we're becoming, we're growing, we're proving to ourselves that we are capable of taking risk, surviving, and even thriving. We make ourselves proud when we behave this way. When we take risks that are aligned with what we want to believe, with what we want to be thinking, with how we want to be feeling, we start to build trust in ourselves. Like, yeah, I did that. It was hard and I did it. And was it perfect? No, but I'm proud of myself. I can do it again better. I think about some of my most cringe-worthy moments in my life. When a girlfriend encouraged me to try out for a musical when I was in middle school, and I don't sing very well, and I had to stand up in front of, on a stage in front of an audience that I couldn't see, of people that were judging and grading me, the producers of the show, and I chose this incredibly challenging song to sing. And it was horrible. I absolutely butchered it. I sucked. I totally got cut. I didn't even come close to getting a part in the play. And for years maybe felt ashamed that I set myself up for such failure, and it was like such a cringe-worthy moment. Later on down the line, I was able to use experiences like that, and there were many, to actually find my way to stages where I felt comfortable. I mean, literal stages where I can speak in front of thousands of people now with a sense of security and self-assuredness and confidence and ease and trust in my own wings. Didn't always start that way, right? There were massive failures, but I see now that those were just me learning how to fly. Nothing to be ashamed of. Nothing to have one and done, like, oh, I'm never going on the stage again. No, I learned. And I'm proud of that now. And I'm becoming the person that I hoped I would be by staying with it and encouraging myself and seeing it as a growth opportunity. And that's what I want to share with you. So, how do we have solid self-belief? We decide what thoughts are positive thoughts, what are high quality thoughts, and what are negative thoughts, what are destructive thoughts, what are toxic thoughts. You choose, like you are on a branch in a tree, which way are you going to go? When we choose to focus on the failure, when we choose to focus on the safety, when we choose to continue to listen to our negative self-talk, when we are still fearful of rejection or humiliation or being ignored or being embarrassed or failing or making a mistake, when we're choosing all of those things, those are low quality beliefs that are leading us to lower quality actions, staying smaller. So the way we have solid self-belief is we start to actually choose more powerfully and build trust with ourselves. That regardless of the outcome, we still have ourselves, we're okay, and that we can choose again from that place. Whatever happens, we can just keep choosing again, evaluate how the results were, decide how we want to think about it, decide what our belief is about it, have a positive thought, have a positive feeling, and take another action. And it's a process where we start to become more and more capable of tolerating risk, not seeing everything as a do or die, and building some muscle memory with trial and error, with risk and reward, so that we start to believe about ourselves that we're a person that can do things. Like, oh yeah, I can try that. You can imagine if you've never, ever, ever crossed a busy street, you might think, I don't know if I can do that. Until, of course, you learn how to, and now you do it effortlessly. You never even think about it. That's what we're on to here. We're not here to double dare ourselves and try it once and feel scared and never do it again. We're here to double dare ourselves, try it once, and evaluate the reaction, the response, the result, and then take action again. That's how we build solid self-belief, is step by step we start seeing ourselves and proving to ourselves and building trust with ourselves that we're someone who can do these things, whatever it is that is our thing, whether it's trying out for a musical or learning how to speak publicly or have better thoughts about ourselves. We try them on and we walk around that way, and we build trust with ourselves that that's something that we can do. We've done it once, we can do it again. Is this resonating for you? Do you think you can take anything positive away from this session today? This comes with so much love. If you feel like, yeah, but I'm not sure exactly how. I don't know how to find a better belief because there's a part of me that just keeps arguing with me. We have really strong brains that say, yeah, but I don't get it. I don't know how. We're really focused on the how. Like, what do I need to do? How would I actually get to have that better belief? Then, my dear, it's probably time for a little coaching. It's time for somebody who can hold space for you and show your thoughts to you. That can challenge you with, where are your thought errors? Where are your unconscious beliefs that you're holding on to as if they're the truth, as if they're news? A coach can help show you objectively where you're digging yourself a hole and standing in it and can't see the horizon and complain that it must be the weather. Somebody who can hold you accountable and call you forth to your higher self. A couple of coaching conversations can have an immense difference in your life, and so you might want to reach out and find me. I can be found at joleader.com or joe@joeleader.com if you want to write me an email. And I'm always here for you. Thank you for joining tonight, and this comes with so much love. We'll see you again soon. Bye for now.